are you confused with what an IRA is, or even more so, the differences between a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA? Well, if that's the case, I've got you covered in this video coming up. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. But for those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Trey. I am a United States Army Special Operations Forces member, and I am waging war on debt. So my intent is to help you get out of debt, stay out of debt, reach financial independence so that you can begin building wealth. If reaching financial freedom is something that you are interested in, subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be giving you the step-by-step guides as to how to get there. First question is, what is an IRA? So an IRA is an individual retirement account. It's an account that offers very valuable tax benefits for the retirement saver. All right. When speaking about IRAs, there are typically two different IRAs. In reality, there are three different IRAs, but the most popular ones that you're going to hear about are the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA. The main differences between the two is simply how the money that you put into it is taxed. That's the main difference. Before going into the differences, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. One of the questions that I got was, hey, how exactly do I open an IRA? Well, that's a good question. Well, normally what you're going to do is open it either through a brokerage, and that brokerage would be one like a Vanguard or a Fidelity or a Charles Schwab's, which are the more popular ones. But you can also open it through robo-advisors such as M1 Financial, Webull, Robinhood. You can even open one through your financial banking institution. That covers how you can open an IRA. The next question is, what is a Roth IRA? So a Roth IRA is a particular type of a retirement account where the money grows tax-free and the withdrawals that you make after the age of 59 and a half in retirement are also tax-free. Think of it like this. You're gonna open up an IRA, all right? And then you're gonna start investing. So let's say it's through Vanguard. You're gonna open an IRA and you'll have the option to choose between a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. If Roth is the way that you're intending on going, the only thing that you need to remember is that by opening a Roth IRA, you're going to be putting in after-tax funds. That means the money that you're putting into the Roth IRA account is taxed before it goes into the account. And the reason for that is so that you are not taxed when pulling the money out at retirement. Roth IRA, money is taxed before it goes in. For those of you who are currently investing, whether that be through a Roth IRA or a traditional, let us know down in the comments below which is your choice and why. With a traditional IRA, it's actually the other way around. Let's say you're opening that same account through Vanguard and you're going to choose a traditional IRA. The difference in a traditional IRA is that it is taxed after going in. Its contributions are tax deferred, but its withdrawals in retirement are taxable. So you're going to put the money into the traditional IRA. The money's not going to be taxed before it goes into the account. However, it will be taxed when you go to pull the money out at retirement. Why would a person choose one over the other? Well, that's a good question. Let's go into that. The main reason that a person might want to choose a Roth IRA is for simplicity. What I mean by that is the money that you're going to put in is going to be taxed before it goes in anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. And through compound interest, it's actually growing for you, tax deferred while it's in the account. So at the time, 59 and a half, that you go to pull the money out, it's not going to be taxed. It's tax-free money. So let's say that you've been building that Roth IRA for 20 years. So in those 20 years, the money has been sitting in the account, growing and growing due to compound interest. So by the time you go to pull the money out at 59 and a half or older, you're not paying any taxes on it. All the money that's in there is yours. And it's a beautiful thing, all right? So you're going to be taxed at the front end There'll be no tax advantages, but due to compound interest, your investments are going to continue to grow. And when you pull the money out, there'll be no taxes taken from that with a Roth IRA. In addition, there are fewer restrictions for retirees, okay? Another thing that is really big is that the early withdrawal rules are very flexible. Now, we do know that when you put money into an IRA, yes, you can and probably will assume a penalty. One note to that with the Roth IRA is that you can actually pull out any amount that you've contributed. Let's say you put $1,000 into a Roth IRA, then you make an additional $1,000 from compound interest. So now you have $2,000. That original $1,000 that you put into the Roth IRA, you can pull out whenever you want to without any penalties. Only the amount of money that you've put in, the actual investment that you put in, you can take out whenever. The returns that you've gained through compound interest on that money, you cannot take out without assuming at least a 10% penalty. And another good thing about the Roth IRA, generally you're going to have more after-tax money after investing and going to pull that money out at retirement. There is an income cap. I would advise you to look up your eligibility for the Roth IRA. Let's go into the traditional IRA. With the traditional IRA, you're going to put your money into that account. It's not going to be taxed until you go to pull the money out. So let's just say that you're putting in $500 a month into a traditional IRA, or $500 per pay period, okay? At the end of those 20 years, I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say you have $60,000 in your traditional IRA. Well, the money that you put in initially was not taxed. However, when you go to pull the $60,000 out at retirement, you are going to be taxed. One of the main benefits to a traditional IRA that people tend to love, and it's probably its biggest thing, is that you receive those tax benefits up front. So all the money that you put into there will not be taxed. It's going to grow due to compound interest for the duration of the time that is inside of that traditional IRA. However, when you go to pull that money out, Uncle Sam's going to get that bread. Uncle Sam's going to get his cut. Yes, you'll get an upfront tax advantage. However, on the back end, Uncle Sam's going to come holler at you. Roth IRA, I'm sorry, I don't even know if I've been saying this wrong. So if I have, let me correct it right now. The Roth IRA is taxed before you put the money into the account, but it's not taxed when you go to pull the money out at retirement. The traditional IRA, however, is not taxed when you put the money in the account, but it is going to be taxed when you go to pull the money out at retirement. So the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA are the most popular ones. However, there is what's called a rollover IRA. In a nutshell, what that is let's say that you are working for a company where you have a 401k there, all right? Now, if you're not familiar with what a 401k is, it's basically a retirement account for a majority civilian workers, all right? Non-government or federal employees. In this video, I actually posted what a TSP is, which is a thrifty savings plan, and that is for military, federal, or government employees. So check that one out after this video. Let's say you work for a company and you had a 401k, but you're no longer working for them, but you still have that 401k. So what do you do with it? Most people are gonna roll it over, and majority of the time, the option is going to be to roll over that 401k into either a Roth or a traditional. I actually did that before, and I rolled my 401k over into my Roth IRA. So you'll receive no penalties. You'll still get the tax benefits. You're literally just taking the money that was in that one and rolling it over into your current IRA. Which one is better, a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA? I actually have both. I have a Roth IRA as well as a traditional IRA. And the reason for that is, depending upon what my investment strategy is, I have some funds going into the Roth IRA and I have others going into my traditional. But I will say that for the most part, the vast majority of my investments, whether it be through my brokerage account or through my TSP, is going to go into a Roth IRA. For me, it's just a lot easier to go ahead and pay the taxes up front and then not have to worry about it on the back end. If I'm already paying taxes on my money, why am I paying taxes again when I put my money into a Roth IRA or any IRA for that matter? It's a good question. I could understand why you're asking that, but to answer that, you need to know the differences between your gross income and your net income. The gross income is going to be the actual amount that you earn prior to any deductions. Your net income is going to be your take-home pay after your deductions. Listen, you better believe that Uncle Sam is going to get that money, all right? So Uncle Sam's going to get his bread, and then after, you have your take-home pay. When you're putting money into these accounts, you're doing so with the thought process that you're going to gain money through investments. So what you're paying additional taxes on are the investments, okay? You're gonna put money into an account. Let's say you're investing in index funds. You're gonna gain money and you're gonna be taxed on it. Don't think about it like, hey, I already paid taxes. Yes, you did. We all did. Uncle Sam's gonna get that bread. Your take-home pay, you can do with it whatever you please. So if you decide to put it into an investment vehicle, there are certain taxes that you're going to assume responsibility for. Roth IRA, the money is taxed before it goes in so that when you go to pull it out after 59 and a half years of age, it won't be taxed. Traditional IRA, the money is not taxed before you put it in. It grows when you go to pull it out at 59 and a half or retirement. Uncle Sam's gonna get that money. If you found this video to be helpful in any way, subscribe to this channel. It helps this channel to grow so that I can continue making videos just like this that's gonna help you reach financial freedom. In addition, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And lastly, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any other content just like this one. Thank you for watching this video. And again, for all the veterans who have served and are currently serving, thank you guys for your service. We all appreciate you. So until the next video, I see you guys later.